Why the poor stay poor. Develop the mindset of the wealthy. The gap between the rich and the poor isn't just about money in the bank. It's about mindset. It's about habits, choices, and a ruthless commitment to success. I wasn't born rich. In fact, I spent years with a poor mindset, making excuses and wondering why nothing changed. My turning point came when I realized one hard truth. Being born broke wasn't my fault. But if I stayed broke, it definitely would be my fault. So I woke up. I decided to study the mindset of the wealthy and start doing what successful people do. And let me tell you, it was a punch to the gut. I had to confront my own laziness, fear, and comfort. I had to admit that my habits were keeping me poor while self-made millionaires were out there grinding with a totally different mentality. If you're listening to this and feeling a little uncomfortable, good. That means something is about to click. Success isn't an accident. It leaves clues, patterns, a blueprint you can follow. Conversely, failure and mediocrity also have their patterns. I'm here to lay them out for you in plain terms. No sugarcoating, no apologies. This is the raw truth about why the poor stay poor and how you can change your mindset to join the winners. Listen, your life can change, but only if you change. So consider this your battle cry. You want to know the difference between the rich and the poor? It starts in your head and in your daily routine. Let's break it down and see where you stand, and if you're brave enough to make the shift. Mindset of the wealthy versus mindset of the poor. What separates a millionaire mind from a poverty mind? Well, it comes down to mindset and habits. We will be discussing 30 differences in thinking and behavior, the habits of self-made millionaires versus the habits that keep people poor. So brace yourself because some of these might sting, but if you recognize yourself on the poor side of these mindset comparisons, consider it your chance to change starting today. 1. Rich people take responsibility for their lives. Poor people blame others for their problems. The wealthy mindset says, if it's to be, it's up to me. The poor mindset finds someone or something to blame. The economy, the government, an unfair boss, or luck. Here's a fact. 84% of wealthy individuals believe good habits create opportunity. They make their own luck, while only 4% of poor individuals think that way. The rich believe luck is the result of action, not chance. They create conditions for success. The poor often believe that life happens to them and that luck or fate is why they aren't successful. Newsflash: waiting for luck is a losing game. Winners make their own luck. 2. Rich people have clear goals and long-term plans. Poor people lack goals and live day by day. The wealthy set concrete goals, write them down, and plan for the future. They know where they're heading in 5, 10, 20 years. The poor often just drift, living paycheck to paycheck with no specific targets. Over 80% of wealthy people set specific written goals, whereas only about 12% of the poor do so. Is that a coincidence? No, not at all. If you don't have a target, you'll never hit it. Rich people have a roadmap, while poor people are driving with their eyes closed. 3. Rich people think big. Poor people, they think small. A wealthy mindset expands what's possible. They aim high. The poor mindset stays in the comfort zone of small dreams. I just want to get by, or I just need a little more money to be happy. Rich people ask, why not me? Why not 10x my income? The poor mindset often settles, fearing big dreams because they don't want to be disappointed. Play in the big leagues or the little leagues. It's your choice. Wealthy individuals aren't afraid of the massive goals, they're afraid of mediocrity instead. 4. Rich people focus on opportunities and rewards. Poor people focus on obstacles and risks. When faced with an idea, the rich ask, how will this work? What's the upside? The poor ask, yeah, but what if this goes wrong? What can I lose? What will I lose? The wealthy see potential growth, while the poor see potential loss. The rich play to win, while the poor play not to lose. A rich person, when looking at a new venture, imagines the success and profit it could bring. A poor person is more likely to imagine everything that could go wrong. It's all about perspective, opportunity, or obstacle. Your answer will determine your outcome. 5. Rich people embrace change and take calculated risks. Poor people fear change and avoid risks. The only constant is change. Wealthy folks know this and leverage change. They adapt, try new things, and aren't afraid of the calculated risk if it brings them closer to their goals. Poor individuals often crave stability and certainty. They fear change, even positive change, and stick to what's safe. The irony is, by avoiding all risk, they take the biggest risk of all, remaining in stagnation. No one ever got ahead by staying in their safe little bubble. The rich mindset is like a lion, always ready to pounce on an opportunity despite the risk. The poor mindset is like a mouse, staying hidden, hoping to avoid danger, but also missing out on the reward. 6. Rich people are committed to learning and self-improvement. Poor people think they already know it all. Wealthy individuals are lifelong learners. They devour books, attend seminars, seek mentors, and constantly aim to upgrade their skills. They have humility in the face of knowledge. If they don't know something, they are eager to learn. Poor people often stop learning once formal schooling is over. They might say, "Nah, I'm not a reading person," or "I don't have time to learn that." Or worse, they assume they have it all figured out. That attitude is a growth killer. The rich mindset always asks, "What else can I learn? How can I get better today?" The poor mindset says, "I already know enough," or "I'm done with all the learning stuff." The result? One grows, the other stays stuck. 7. Rich people educate themselves more than they entertain themselves. Poor people entertain themselves more than they educate themselves. After a long day, a poor mindset will fluff on the couch and binge on Netflix or scroll social media for hours, escaping reality. The rich mindset might also relax, but they balance leisure with self-education. They'll read that business book, take that online course, listen to that podcast to expand their mind. They understand that knowledge is power and wealth. Poor folks often can tell you all about latest TV series but not about the latest skills or trends in business or investing. If you spend more time on TikTok than on learning something that improves your life, that's a red flag. Self-made millionaires find joy in learning, while the poor find joy in distractions. 8. Rich people invest in themselves. Poor people don't. This goes beyond just learning, it's also about personal growth and skills. A wealthy-minded person will spend money on books, coaching, courses, training, or anything that can elevate them. They see it as the best investment they can make for themselves. Poor-minded people hesitate to spend money on a seminar or free seminar or a course that could teach them to earn more. They'll say it's too expensive, yet they'll drop money on clothes or gadgets without blinking. The rich mindset understands ROI, return on investments. The difference is how we use them. Wealthy people treat time as their most precious asset. They schedule their days, set priorities, and don't squander time on meaningless things. They understand you can't buy back time. Poor people often kill time, like they have an unlimited supply. They slip in, procrastinate, mindlessly scroll on social media, or just fail to plan their day. If you look at a rich person's calendar, it's often packed with productive tasks, meetings, workouts, learning, family, things that matter. A poor person's calendar, they might not even have one. If you don't value your time, your life will reflect that. Millionaires have a sense of urgency. Poor folks often act like they have forever to get it together. 10. Rich people trade money for time. Poor people trade time for money. This is crucial. The wealthy are willing to spend money to save time. They'll outsource tasks, hire help, use services, whatever it takes so they can focus on high-value activities. Poor people do the opposite. They spend endless time to save a little money. For example, a rich entrepreneur might hire someone to do administrative work or clean their house so they can spend that time on growing their business or resting to avoid burnt out. A poor mindset might spend 3 hours driving around town to save $20 on a purchase or do every tiny task themselves thinking that they save money, while their own time, which could be used to learn new skills or hustle on a side project, slips away. The wealthy know their time is worth far more than what they'd pay someone else to do certain tasks. Poor people, not seeing the value of their time, remain trapped trading hours for dollars endlessly. 11. Rich people surround themselves with successful, positive people. Poor people associate with negative or ambitious people. Birds of a feather flock together. Wealthy individuals are very intentional about their peer group. They seek out mentors, join mastermind groups, network with other achievers. They want to be around winners because they know success is contagious. Poor individuals often stay in comfortable circles that reinforce mediocrity. They might hang around others who complain, procrastinate, or have no drive. Because misery loves company. Here's the problem. If you're the smartest or most ambitious person in your group, that group is holding you back. Rich people will even pay to get into the right room. They know the value of connections. Poor people might say successful people are snobs and not attempt to network, or they let toxic relationships drag them down. Who you hang around with, you become, so check your circle. 12. Rich people are willing to promote themselves and their value. Poor people see self-promotion as negative. This might surprise you, but many self-made millionaires are unabashed promoters. They market their skills, their business, their ideas with confidence. They aren't afraid to say, hey, I'm good at this and I can solve your problem, so pay me. Poor people often cringe at the idea of self-promotion. They think it's boastful or sleazy to sell themselves, so they remain the best-kept secret in their field. Or they shy away from opportunities that require putting themselves out there. The result? They get passed over, underpaid, or unnoticed. Meanwhile, the rich mindset person is out there networking, telling everyone who will listen about their new venture or asking for the sale. They believe in their value, and they're not afraid to promote it with passion. If you have a poor mindset around this, you might think good work or should speak for itself. Reality check. If nobody knows about your good work, it doesn't matter. Speak up for yourself. 13. Rich people admire other successful people and learn from them. Poor people resent successful people and assume they got lucky or cheated. When a wealthy mindset person sees a millionaire or a billionaire, they become curious. They ask, how did they do it? What can I learn from their story? A poor mindset person might say, it must be nice to be rich. They probably had advantages that I don't. Or they'll cast the rich in a villainous light. All rich people are greedy. This envy and resentment creates a mental barrier to success. You'll never become something you detest. Rich people find inspiration and lessons in others' success. They might even reach out to those people for advice. Poor people instead find reasons to dismiss the successful. He probably inherited money. She probably got lucky, etc., etc., etc. Choose to be inspired, not bitter. Jealousy is a poison. Admiration is fuel. 14. Rich people have multiple streams of income. Poor people rely on a single income source. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Wealthy folks take this to heart. They diversify their income, maybe through a main business, investments, rental income, side hustles, dividends, among others. If one income stream falters, another picks up the slack. Poor people typically depend on one job or one source of income, and if that gets cut, they're in crisis. The rich mindset is always asking, how can I create new income streams? How can I make money even when I'm not actively working? The poor mindset says, I just need a raise at my job, or I'll just work overtime. Self-made millionaires, on average, have several income sources. The average person has only one. Which boat would you rather be in? 15. Rich people build assets. Poor people only work for a paycheck. An asset is something that makes you money when you're not actively working. Think investments, businesses, real estate, intellectual property, among others. Wealthy people are obsessed with acquiring or creating assets. They ask, will this purchase make me money or take money out of my pocket? If it makes money, which is an asset, they want it. If it only costs money, a liability, they think twice. Poor people mostly just work for the next paycheck and then spend that paycheck on consumption. Bills, goods, liabilities, the wants. They rarely invest in assets, often because they have no money left after expenses or they lack the knowledge. The rich are busy planting seeds that grow into money trees. The poor are chopping down whatever sprouts to eat today without planting for tomorrow.